Welcome everyone to another Mech Merlin build stream. Thanks everyone for joining in. I see a Not Pork, Linux Boy 2, Joda Uncode, Oni Ramen, and KSJ. Thanks guys for joining in so early to my Saturday build stream. Today we are building the Space 80 Apollo from Gray Studio, so you guys can go check it out over there. Before we begin the stream, really, I like to talk about what I'm using and what I'll be drinking during this stream. Today I am using the LW67, one of my favorite 75s. Oh, sorry, not LW67, but LW75. Currently expiring. Today is the last day you can pick this up over at Laneware Peripheral. So if you're interested in a 75 with a encoder knob on the top left as opposed to the top right, check it out. Usually whenever I do a build stream, a customer just gives me the board, switches, sometimes keycaps so I can do a full build, but very seldomly, very rarely do I get a customer who's like, Merlin, I know you like to drink stuff on stream. Here's something for you as well. So this particular customer sent me something I have never drank before. This one is apparently a Korean beer, Korean rice beer called Maku. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Maku Korean rice beer, blueberry flavored. Shake gently before opening. If you're imagining traditional beer, think again. Maku is a fresh take on makgeolli. Makgeolli, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Korea's oldest alcoholic drink, and in our opinion, the most delicious. Pop a cold one to experience a soft fizz with a hint of sweetness and an addictive tart finish. Interesting. Okay, well let's try it out. This is the first time I'm ever trying Korean rice beer. Alright. Yeah, I can definitely smell that sweetness. Oh, that's really good. I really wouldn't characterize it as a beer. It tastes like it almost tastes like I'm drinking a cocktail, a very fizzy cocktail. The Space 80 Apollo, if you have been a big fan of the Space 65, this is its bigger brother, TKL equivalent. So definitely has that Space 65 vibe, available in Win keyless and your traditional layouts. So that is not how much it was. I think this is more like 420 if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, this is a gasket board, comes with a brass weight, PCB, Type-C with ESD protection, all that good stuff. The colors available for this one were the same that was on the 65. So you've got like the Robocop one, Mecha 01, Deep Ocean, Deep Green, Stormtrooper, all that good stuff. Let's check out this board. I've actually not pulled it out of its box. I've only pulled out the PCB. One special request that the customer made was to use a Mil-Max socket. So I spent a couple hours Mil-Maxing this. When you have a really nice board, right, and hot swap is not available, this is probably like the only option. Mil-Maxing with 3305s. There we go. Quick unboxing here. See, there's all the foams available. Bonus, switch dampening kit. Please use the kit as it fits your preferences for switch feel and sound. Very cool. FR4 plate, standard FR4 plate available, and silicon pad. Gift, PC plate and pour-on pad. Spare PCB. A white one. Very nice. Okay, a couple more gaskets here. Hey, look at that, saran wrapped. Space 80 Apollo on the brass weight there. You can see the Gray Studio logo as well. Gray Studio. USB-C port's gonna be over there. Toolbox. Oh, interesting. Okay, comes with feet, spare screws, additional feet, I guess if you want white feet instead of the black ones. And stabilizer pads, extra LEDs, LED diffuser. We'll need that in a bit. So I'll be starting a poll here to see which ones you guys think I should build this with. The FR4 plate, or the PC plate. You guys get to decide. I'll start off the poll and it'll only go for 5 minutes. So Lubed Gateron Oil Kings. So you guys get to decide it if you think this will sound better on an FR4 plate on a PC plate. What plate should I choose? So if you guys have a few minutes, definitely chime in on that. Yeah, so just to give you guys some of my thought processes with this, is that Gateron Oil Kings tend to be heavier. These are 80G bottom outs. So I told the customer, I feel like if you choose a flexier plate like PC, the 80G will feel even heavier, but will give you a quote-unquote thockier sound. If you go for the FR4, the 80G will just feel like 80G. It won't feel any heavier. It'll give you a slightly clackier sound. So which one do you want to go for? And the customer was like, I don't really know. You decide. So I'm like, all right, I'll let the audience decide. One thing I like to talk about in terms of PE foam, people think that you can use any kind of PE foam. Any PE foam will do, especially the kind that you get from electronics that you buy, right? A lot of PE foam can be conductive. So when you put something conductive on a PCB, there's a chance you can short things, right? So this is the kind of PE foam that you want, the kind with the shiny backing. This provides some amount of insulation. Looks like the winner of today's poll is FR4. Let's build it with FR4. Okay, hopefully that is the right choice. Hopefully the customer likes that. If not, I'm blaming you guys. Sorry, customer. The entire chat, or most of the chat, chose FR4. We'll see if that was the right choice or not. Oh, that's interesting. Guys, check this out. It actually sticks to the FR4. That's very cool. Don't know if that was intentional or not, but that works pretty well. Did Gray Studio provide a hot swap board? No, they did not. There is no hot swap available for this at all, which kind of sucks because they give you so many options and they even say preference, right? But how can you figure out what your preference is without changing a few things and doing trial and error, right? With a solderable build like this is going to be a pain in the ass. Yeah, I think this is one of the most annoying things about doing a PE foam build. You need to make sure everything is aligned. If it's not aligned, then number one, it looks bad when you open up your board. And number two, sometimes it makes the build more difficult. Let's put this all in. Okay, we're just gonna do the sides first. There we go. Just so we can sandwich them together. Alright, design, load the definition, Apollo 80 via, there we go, configure, perfect, that's great. Okay, let's do the key tester, test matrix. Thank you very much, it's Derek. Everything works! Hooray! Everything works. We can actually build it now. Great. So thank you again. It's Derek for sending me that link. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. And you know, it just really sucks that we have to rely on stuff like this. It should, by the time a board gets to the customer, it should already be merged in and all that. But such is life. Such is life. All right, here goes. Oh, I see what people were talking about in terms of the diffuser. That's where it is. Ooh, okay. Very nice. All right, well, let's put gaskets on first. Oh, that's really interesting. See, one of the gaskets spans both the diffuser and the actual bottom half. So that means if you ever wanted to remove this diffuser, you'd have to break that gasket. Maybe I could just cut it in half. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just cut the board or cut the gasket in half. Oh, interesting. Look at this. I'm seeing some manufacturer defects. I see some scratches on the side here. Okay, good thing it's internal and it's not that noticeable. It's in the grooves right there. My least favorite part of any gasket build. Though nothing beats the gasket installation on the LW75. For the LW75, I needed to cut the gaskets myself. That was a pain. Simply because I got a prototype unit. So all of you who join in on this LW75 goodbye, which does end today, you will not experience the pain that I did. You just have to peel off those lasered gaskets and install them. Alright, just finish the top. You can do the bottom now. I'm putting on all the gaskets right now. Like, I know it's not as easily removed as like the OwlLab gaskets, but you know, customer can remove them if he sees fit. I prefer 65 for everyday usage, but 75 isn't bad if you need the FRO. I've noticed that, you know, a majority of games do use the FRO. So at home, I use 75. At work, I use 65s or 60s. In fact, the board that I left at work is a 60. And I think this is a good time to run the poll because I do have a couple more left. I can probably do this in roughly 10 minutes. So here we go. What keycap set should I use for this board? Customer sent me two, GMK Dots and Ooing Zooing, which is a black on white set. So you guys have 10 minutes. 10 minutes to figure it out. Or figure it out for me. The bigger the board, the more the gaskets. Yeah, gaskets really are a 10-year later kind of task, I know, right?
10 years later.
Okay, we're good. See, I did tell you I was gonna finish it pretty quick. Poll's not even done yet. Excellent. You want a TUF 3080 Ti? I have a spare I can send you at cost. Really? It's very generous of you. At the same time, I have to consider, do I really need it? Do I need a 3080 for streaming purposes? I would literally only be buying that to play Elden Ring. And like I said earlier, I don't really have much time for games, right? Okay. Let's go put this board together. What's my impression of the Space 80 design? I've never been a fan of their Space series of boards, to be honest. I did not like the Space 65. I think it looks cool, but it's a little too modern looking for me, so it's not my aesthetic preferences. I do think it's cool, but I tend to prefer boards that look more classic. See that? You can see the underglow. Very pretty, right? Oh, GMK Dots is the winner. See, customer says black. I'm indifferent. Up to you. What? He's been indifferent about this entire build. Alright. Let's put dots on this since dots was the winner. Check this out, guys. It's still in the original, like the original GMK tray, which I actually absolutely hate. Right. Let's do this here. Let me move the board a little bit more here. You guys can see it better. Well, actually, it sounds pretty decent. I can see the board flex a bit, so that's good. Okay. Looks like we're good, but I did notice something about this set. I noticed that I put the scoops in the wrong location. I put them right next to each other. So I'm gonna have to rectify that. Where did I put my switch puller? Keycap puller. Let's see, so ASDF. That's where it needs to go. ASDF. Needs to go there. GHJ. The scoop keys were in the wrong location. There we go. That's actually a nice looking board. That's really pretty. That's really, really pretty. Alright, we can do a typing test. Alright. Well, I'm actually going to lower my lighting so you guys can see all the RGB goodness. Let me just add a little bit of the lighting. There we go. You guys can still see that, right? The underglow isn't super bright at all. But it works. Like, from my point of view, it's very tasteful. It's very classy. All right, music is off. Turning off crisp, so you guys can hear how noisy this room is. Yeah, this is how this room sounds normally without any of the sound dampening. All right, let's begin the test. I like how it sounds and I like how it feels. I'm not surprised because I'm a big Gateron Oil King fan. So I'm glad that I'm seeing a similar experience with this than I was with this. The difference between the Oil Kings is that mine are stock. I literally put the Oil Kings without any lubing, without any filming into my LW75. These are lubed and filmed. And I'm gonna say that they sound better. Did I do any additional lubing for the Oil Kings? No, I have not. These are completely stock right here. These Oil Kings are lubed and filmed. Yeah, this actually sounds pretty darn good. I'm pretty impressed. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, I still wish that I had the Mr. Suit from last week, because that one, as someone said on my typing sounds of that Mr. Suit board, they said this is endgame sound. So I wish I could have still had that to compare it with this. Oh, that just sounds so good. Sounds so good. Let me compare it with mine. These are stock, but with PBT cherry. Jit says, can we see the back with the light? Yeah, sure. Look at that. That is sexy as hell. You know, the fact that this board sounds and feels so good, I may start to like their space series of boards now. This is pretty amazing. Oh, of course, a large part of it may have to do with Gateron Oil Kings. I tend to be very biased towards them because I love them so much. But here, let's just do another typing test. That's the space bar. Maybe the Space 65 R3 is for you. So I've typed on a Space 65, of course not with the Gateron Oil Kings. Wasn't too happy with the Space 65, but this one, Space 80, really like it. Oil Kings similar to inks. They have the same bottom out weight, but the material is completely different. Your Space 65 is too flat. This one, actually, you know, now that you mentioned that, I would agree with you. I thought that the Space 65 was too flat. This one doesn't feel all that flat. This seems properly angled. Here, just to make sure I'm not talking out of my ass here, let's go look at specs. Specs between Space 65 typing angle. Space 65 typing angle is 5 degrees. The typing angle for the Space 80 is 5.5. Not that big of a difference, but there is a difference, which is probably why this feels better to me than what I remember of the Space 65. I remember typing on the Space 65 and being like, yeah, no. Like, yeah, no. But this one, I really like this. I really, really like this feel. 5 degrees is like non-existent to me. Space 80 is the only TKL I might actually consider getting. Dude, there are so many nice TKLs out there. But this one, if you like RGB, like look at that. I can't think of any other board that has the RGB outlining or highlighting the weight. That just looks so cool. And of course you've got the sides as well, right? Here, let's turn off all the lights. I'll keep the key light on so that my face is still lit. Let's see that. That RGB is very tastefully done. That's good. There are nice TKLs. The layout is just big for me personally, but the Space 80 is just so nice. It has the look, sound, and feel. Yeah, this definitely has all those three. At the beginning of this build, I was like, Space, I wasn't too big a fan of the Space 65. Was completely expecting it to be the same. But when I unboxed it, I was like, hey, this looks slightly different. This actually looks better than the Space 65. But the typing and feel is going to be just the same. And I'm not going to like that. But after building it and doing my 2 typing sounds tests, excellent board. Really like it. You know what, I'm just going to type on it again because it sounds so good. Did I notice a difference between the PE foam on the mods versus the alphas? Good question. So the PE foam on the mods was thicker. Right now, I feel like the alphas are clackier, if you know what I mean. All right, well, it is time to end the stream, so I'll do one last typing test and we can finish it up. Yeah, Luminous Peak, remind me on Tuesday. There we go. There we go. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Today I built a customer's Space 80 Apollo with an FR4 plate, Gateron Oil Kings switches with a mil-maxed PCB. Let's see, it's got the P foam, it's got the silicon between the plate and the PCB, and the silicon foam in the case itself, topped with GMK Dots. Quick take on it is that this board impressed me. I went into the build expecting the disappointment that I had with the Space 65. This is actually a pretty decent board, and I am enjoying typing on it, and I'm enjoying listening to it, and I also quite enjoy looking at it. My next stream will be tomorrow evening, 7:30 p.m. PDT, in which I'll be covering the weekly group buy news. If that's the kind of info you like, make sure you tune in then. All right, guys. But yeah, thanks guys for joining in. See you when I see you. Goodbye, everyone.